Team USA has officially released their selection pool roster, and the basketball world is in complete shock. Caitlin Clark isn't only on the list. She has been chosen the starter for Duke's December camp. But here's where Geno Auriemma sees red. Paige Bueckers, his golden girl from UConn, is on the bench after years of ignoring Clark, calling her followers foolish, and insisting she wasn't ready for top basketball. USA Basketball has proven him completely wrong. The same coach who turned Clark down when she wanted to play for UConn is now seeing her take center stage on the national team. If you agree with Caitlin, write "Let's Go CC" in the comment section below. When USA Basketball announced their 18-player selection pool roster for the December training camp at Duke, the basketball community went wild. Initially, the roster appeared to be rather normal. You had your usual veterans, such as Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young, mixed in with budding talents. But then people began to look harder at the starter positions. That is when everything detonated. Caitlin Clark didn't simply make the roster. She was assigned a starting position for the December camp. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers was classified as a bench player. Let that settle in for a moment. The athlete Geno Auriemma has touted as a future face of women's basketball is ranked behind Clark on the depth chart. Sue Bird and Kara Lawson are in charge of USA Basketball's future. Bird now serves as managing director, with Lawson taking over as head coach. These two made it plain what their priorities were with this roster release. They are preparing for the 2026 World Cup and the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles. Clark is their focal point. When people discovered what had transpired, social media exploded. Clark's admirers began rejoicing as if they had won the jackpot. They'd been watching their favorite player be ridiculed and doubted for years. Now, USA Basketball was starting her over the player who had been touted as the best choice. Geno Auriemma's camp became entirely silent. UConn made no comments following the announcement. This is the same program that spent years touting Bueckers as the next superstar. They pushed her as a player who would dominate women's basketball. Now she's battling for minutes with someone Geno claimed wasn't prepared for elite competition. The timing makes this much more important. This camp is USA Basketball's first serious opportunity to establish their 2026 and 2028 rosters. They are considering players who could carry the program for the next 4 years. Clark receiving beginning care reveals clearly where their priorities lay. Stephanie White's involvement as a court coach adds another depth to the story. White coached Clark for the Indiana Fever and knows just how to maximize her influence. She will be working directly under Lawson during the camp. This area has a strong link to Indiana. Aaliyah Boston also joined the roster, providing Clark a player with whom she already gets along. The lineup includes first-time invitees Angel Ree and Guju Watkins. But Clark's starter status distinguishes her from everyone else making their debut. USA Basketball is treating her like a proven commodity rather than someone who needs to earn her spot. Lawson personally selected the court coaching staff, which includes Natalie Nakazi and Nate Tibbetts alongside White. This group will be evaluating talent for USA Basketball's most important competitions. They are not just looking at individual skills. They are developing a system around players they feel can deliver gold medals. The 2026 World Cup represents USA Basketball's potential for a 5th consecutive title. The 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles require a face for the sport. Someone capable of bringing crossover appeal and global recognition. Clark have exactly that level of star power. Clark's followers have waited years for this moment. They saw her set records in Iowa while skeptics questioned her competition level. They saw her dominate her Wnba debut season despite being told she wasn't ready, shattering 62 records in process. USA Basketball is now validating their belief in her potential. This roster release includes much more than just player evaluations. USA Basketball is making a statement about its future orientation. They are prioritizing star power and proven results over old allegiance and predefined storylines. Clark's starting status demonstrates that talent eventually triumphs over politics. The December camp at Duke will be Clark's first opportunity to demonstrate her worth at this level. However, USA Basketball appears to have made up its mind. They are putting their future on her capacity to perform when it counts the most. Geno Auriemma's bond with Caitlin Clark began long before anyone realized how exceptional she would become. Clark expressed an interest in playing for UConn during her high school recruitment. She was eager to join Geno's program, which had dominated women's basketball for decades. However, Geno did not award her a scholarship. He utterly rejected her. Clark ultimately chose Iowa, where she went on to shatter every record imaginable. While Clark was breaking scoring records and selling out venues at Iowa, Geno began to express his thoughts on her future clearly. He questioned her ability to operate at a professional level. Geno stated that Clark was not built for the physicality of a league, and that her skills would not adapt to the WNBA. He portrayed a picture of someone who dominated college basketball but struggled against larger, faster, and more aggressive opponents. The most illuminating moment occurred when Geno discussed Clark's supporters and their expectations for her debut season. He called them delusional for assuming she could have an immediate impact. Geno claimed that her delusional fan following humiliated WNBA players by claiming she would tear the league apart. He was basically arguing that her followers were living in a fantasy world if they believed she could compete with seasoned professionals. Those foolish fans believed Clark would finish in the top 5 in MVP voting during her debut season. Most experts laugh at the idea. Geno certainly didn't think that would happen. However, Clark went out and averaged 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. She guided the Indiana Fever to their first playoff appearance since 2016. She finished 4th in MVP voting, confirming that all of those purportedly insane fans were completely correct. The difference between how Geno treated Paige Bueckers explains the entire tale. Bueckers received immediate appreciation and recognition from Geno and the old guard of women's basketball. She was crowned before even stepping foot on a WNBA court. The basketball establishment welcomed her with wide arms and unwavering support. Bueckers never had to prove herself on every level. Like Clark did, Clark has to win respect via consistent performance. She broke college scoring records, and several individuals complained that the competition was inadequate. She led Iowa to back-to-back championship game appearances, but critics found new reasons to question her. She dominated her rookie WNBA season, but some questioned if she deserved the accolade she was receiving. Bueckers received the exact opposite treatment. Prior to playing professionally, she was featured on magazine covers and obtained sponsorship deals. The women's basketball world regarded her as a selected successor to the throne. Meanwhile, Clark was out there shattering records and altering the sport despite continual skepticism from guys like Geno. Following Clark's amazing rookie season, Geno abruptly altered his tune. He began describing her as a game changer and an unbelievable phenomenon. He acknowledged her influence on the game, saying she definitely altered the terrain. No question. The same person who had branded her fans delusional was now complimenting her leadership abilities and competitiveness. But Geno never admitted that his original forecasts were incorrect, but he never admitted that his partiality may have impaired his assessment of Clark's potential. He simply shifted his public stance and hoped that people would forget about his previous remarks. Geno's predictions regarding Clark's failure have all shown to be spectacularly inaccurate. She handled the physicality beautifully. Her abilities transitioned well to the professional level. Her admirers were not delusional at all. They noticed something unusual that the old guard had overlooked entirely. Now, USA Basketball's new leadership has made it obvious what their priorities are. Sue Bird and Kara Lawson trust Clark enough to give her a starting spot, while Becca sits on the bench. They prioritize verified results over predefined narratives. They are putting their future on the player Geno claims isn't ready, rather than the one who's been championing for years. Sue Bird and Kara Lawson did not choose Clark at random as the beginning. They planned their entire strategy around making the most of her special abilities. Bird took on her post as managing director with a clear goal. Lawson took over as head coach, bringing specific ideas regarding tempo and spacing. They are working together to develop a 4-year plan that will take them directly to Berlin in 2026 and Los Angeles in 2028. The December camp at Duke is much more than just player assessments.